I'm Madeline Hooper. I've been gardening for over 20 years, and of course, with gardening comes a lot of aches and pains. So I finally decided that maybe I should find a fitness trainer to see if I could fix my problems. And a fellow gardener introduced me to Jeff Hughes. After working with Jeff, it dawned on me what would be more exciting than to travel all over America, visiting a wide variety of gardens, and helping their gardeners get garden fit. Taking care of your body while taking care of your garden. That's our mission.
Madeline, this is gorgeous. This vineyards and the lake and the mountains and the blue sky. This is what Northern California is all about.
It's so beautiful.
So I have one question.
Yes,
Where are we
Jim.
going?
We're going to Peace and Plenty Farm.
Oh, that sounds very peaceful and plentiful. And who are we meeting at Peace and Plenty?
We're going to meet Melinda Price and her husband, Simon Avery.
Melinda and Simon at Peace and Plenty. Tell me a little more about Melinda and Simon.
Well,
Oh boy, here we go. The bag. What have you got in the bag today, Madeline? Oh, good Lord.
do you know what this is?
I had to ask. I know what that is. That's a felony. You can't go to Fort Knox to steal gold bricks. Just
No, I mean this.
saffron.
Saffron. Saffron is, as we know, a spice that is actually worth its weight in gold.
I get it. You go to great lengths.
It's the most expensive spice on the planet. So fortunately, when you cook with it, you only need a pinch.
That's a very pricey spice.
It is.
That's great. But what does that have to do with Simon and Melinda?
So Simon and Melinda have actually created a saffron farm. And they have the largest saffron farm in North America.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's
right?
pretty impressive. Heck
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we go there, they're going to teach us how they grow the saffron and how they harvest the saffron, which I think is quite a special process.
You know, I love learning new things. That's the best part of this job. I can't wait.
Too. There's their farm stand.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, did you hear that? I got
rooster.
roosters. Roosters in the morning. We are definitely at a farm.
That's perfect.
Hey.
Hey! It's so nice to see you in person.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, Simon.
Simon.
Oh.
Sorry. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Jeff.
Nice to meet you.
Melinda.
Nice to meet you.
So we've made it here.
Welcome. Welcome to Peace and Plenty.
So we know how we got here. How did you guys get here?
Yeah, so a few years ago, about 5 years ago or so, we were really ready for a change of life. And we wanted to work outside, work for ourselves,
It's
and
always good.
farming was kind of the natural fit for that.
So how'd you get to the crop you're growing?
I was driving around for work in my previous career, and I had a program of farmers in Vermont growing saffron, so that made my ears prick up, and we just did some research, and that was our aha moment, yeah.
Wow.
So
did you have a place to actually grow the saffron at that point?
well, that's the thing, no, we didn't. So we actually placed an order for 11,000 corms, they're called corms, the
Right.
little bulbs, before we owned a property, so
That's
they were, yeah. So they were
Put
on,
yourself in a little
yeah,
jam
so
there.
it was kind of a race to find a place, and we were really lucky that we came across this place so easily.
I have to tell you, when we were looking for farms, we would go with a bucket and a shovel, because we were looking at the soil. We weren't looking at the structures at all. So yeah, it had a roof. I think there was, some walls, great. But what we were really...
So you weren't like the normal people. It didn't
No.
that care about the kitchen and the tile in the bathroom.
Exactly.
It was the dirt.
It was the
the dirt.
soil. And the whole property was just absolutely covered yay high in star thistle. So just really mean, thick, giant weeds, because it had sat vacant for quite a while. and we only had a couple months to do it. So it was a real race
That's a
against
chore.
the clock.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So is this like a heavy equipment and get it in moment for you?
I wish.
No, we don't have any heavy machinery on the farm.
Really?
So
No?
No
it's-
mechanization.
No.
Shoveling.
This was the heavy equipment?
And this.
Yeah.
So have you done other gardens too besides just growing saffron?
Yeah, and so now we revisited our original idea of doing a market garden, and we started that about a year ago. And then this year we started a flower garden as well.
Nice.
Yeah, you just perked right up when you said that.
I'd love to show you.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, sure.
Flower garden, that would be great.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and do some work in the market garden.
Okay, we'll come and find you
All
in a
right.
minute.
We'll see you later.
Oh, this
over
is a
here.
big flower bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
thank you.
So what made you decide to put in flowers?
Well, it was a big goal for us when we started the farm to really create a nectar and pollen-rich environment for all the pollinators that live here, and then just create as much biodiversity as we can.
So this is still a lot of work. Do you
It
come
is.
out in deadhead every day?
Oh my gosh, no. I wish. I would love to, but I do see some zinnias right there that need some clipping.
Ah,
Do you mind?
not at all. I almost want my own clippers to get in there with you.
I know, it's fun. And it encourages more blooms, so.
It certainly does. There you go.
I think Simon's waiting for you in the market garden.
Okay, let's go find him. Thank you.
All right.
See you
See you in a
later,
little while.
Melinda. Bye. Simon,
Hey, Simon.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
Hi,
we'd love
no
to
worries.
sort of learn a little bit more about your market garden.
Sure, absolutely.
What is it that you produce here?
We grow a lot of stuff in here. It's about 1/8 of an acre. Tomatoes, we've got sweet peppers here, hot peppers over there, basil, cherry tomatoes behind us here, and more tomatoes.
Lots of tomatoes.
Lots of tomatoes. People love tomatoes. And we also turn a lot of our vegetables into value-added products as well. Like Melinda's, she can turn tomatoes into fantastic tomato sauce, and our cucumbers into pickles.
Oh, okay.
And that's a fantastic way to get extra value from our produce as well.
Commerce of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is one of the reasons you named your farm Peace and Plenty because you have so plenty of vegetables to sell?
We actually came up with the name Peace and Plenty because we have a quilt pattern on the front of our barn, which is an old Amish quilt pattern design, and it's actually named Peace and Plenty. So when we discovered that, we were looking for how to name our farm, and that's
it.
we kind of joke that we should call our farm Hey Google Farm because like we're newbies at this, and we're always asking Google like what space, how far apart should you space tomato plants and things like that. So
That's funny.
yeah, without the internet, we wouldn't be quite where we are right now.
There is one thing that you're not growing, weeds. How is that possible that there are no weeds here?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say we don't have any weeds, but not too many. When we built this market garden, we started off with a very weedy horse paddock. And the first thing we did was lay down this layer of cardboard to cover the weeds. It's called the lasagna method because you're layering cardboard and compost.
How cool.
So
Like lasagna.
like lasagna, yeah. And then we just planted straight into that. And the cardboard and the compost act as to suppress the weeds.
That's fantastic. I'm going to go
yeah.
back and change all my vegetable beds.
Yeah, that's a
that's
great
such
idea.
a great idea because it
Yeah.
really looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
And your
yeah.
back really appreciates it too, because you're not
Yeah.
Because
weeding.
we're not bending and weeding.
Most of my
Yeah.
fixes have been from weeding.
Weeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot,
Definitely
of
the
a lot of bending to harvest, but not so much bending to weed, yeah.
So how do you actually harvest these? Do you just pluck
Well-
them off?
Basically just a matter of getting down there and finding them in there, you know. So it is a lot of time bending down. It's just a matter of hunting for them through
And
the...
spending time.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Well, if you want to get on with picking a little more tomatoes, we'd love to go see the saffron beds.
Okay, well, I'll finish up here and I'll meet you guys over there if you want.
Great.
All right.
See you in a few minutes.
The wheels are turning with all the bending over for long periods of time.
They can really use your fixes.
Wow, this is something else.
My goodness, how many rows do you have here of beds?
Oh, we have about 65.
Wow.
Let's go look down this one and
Okay.
check it out.
So how many of the corms have you actually planted in here?
We started out with around 11,000, and they multiply each year. So we have about We think like 500,000 now.
$500,000? Magic. So what gave you the idea to set up these beds?
Originally, we just knew that they needed to be in some form of raised bed, so we just piled the soil up into long lines and planted the corn straight into that. But after a few months, we realized that we have a lot of gophers here.
Oh, dear.
So, and the gophers were destroying them, they were eating them.
They took about 30% of our first planting.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Yeah, so we
It's
found
an
out.
expensive
heartbreaking.
meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeding the gophers
Yeah.
gourmet saffron. Yeah.
So we came up with this design of making a cage out of hardware cloth.
Which seems so clever.
It goes all the way
Long-lasting.
underneath, so they can't burrow in from...
And how deep do they go?
The cages go down about 10 inches deep.
Wow,
So
have
you
to dig
trenched
that?
every one of these.
We
Hand tools.
trenched. We trenched,
Oh,
you're just
God,
using
I
shovels
can't
and
even
rakes
imagine
and
that.
our hands. Yeah.
What did that do to
Wow.
their bodies?
Oh, that's work.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to come back in 4 weeks because I know that the saffron will be up
Yep.
and the flowers will be opening, and we would love to come and help you and learn really how you harvest the saffron.
Yeah, that would be really fun. We
That would be-
love
that would be
learning
great.
things on
Yeah.
here.
we would love that.
You guys, this has been such a great visit. Just seeing what you do, and you mentioned some of the trials and tribulations you had getting this thing started and everything else, and you're still such a happy couple when you work together. That's really, truly special.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
a good team.
You know, it's
And we're
really
both-
hot out here. I'm just gonna throw my hair up real quick.
Yeah, I think we're flexible in the business of farming.
Uh-huh. How's your flexibility otherwise?
Not so good.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah, especially me. Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm really tight, you know.
Uh-huh.
There isn't a joint from my ankles to my fingers that don't hurt, you know.
Anything else specific?
Lower back, of course, you know.
Uh-huh.
Lower back is always a sore point.
And Melinda?
Yeah, I'd say lower back as well. Definitely. I'm a tall person, and
Yeah.
so much of what we do is low.
I did recognize both of you are very tall, and I noticed both of you do a lot of bending over. And so I'm gonna give you a suggestion to ease the work of the back when you do that. And you guys work so much. Most likely, if I said, when you go home at night, you need to do a stretching routine, you're gonna go, right, yeah, okay. All right, I'll do that. So I'm gonna try to give you something that makes sense, that you can fit in, that you'll do. So I'm gonna just invite you to stand up here with me. So first of all, I wanna work on hinges, okay? This is gonna help your lower back, all right? So there's actually 2 hinges that get you from here to here. You can bend in your stomach area where your navel is. That's your back. It's bending you over and bringing you up. Or you can start taking your hips with you, and you can make your hips straighten up, and that's what gets you up. So you have a little crease back here. It's called the gluteal crease. Go ahead and take your finger, just find that crease. That's where the muscle is. That's the muscle we're trying to get at. So just, you know, emulate what you were doing in the garden. Just kind of lean over like you're doing something. Now, before you come up, go back there and find that crease with your finger. Squeeze that crease and feel it pull you up.
Oh, yeah.
Your back, oh, that's what I was looking for, the oh yeah. Your back didn't work at all. Your back was just going for the ride.
Yeah.
So let's try that again. Just lean over, do your work. Try using your back. Just use your back to come up. And you see how it's struggling because it doesn't actually make your hip line up.
Yeah.
And if you have trouble
Yeah.
at first, touch is one of the best ways I teach people something. You know, when you touch it, your brain goes, oh, here it is. You're more dense there with muscle than anywhere else in your body, so use it. And your back gets a free ride up. Inject it in lifestyle. I'm not gonna tell you to do 10 of these a day. Do it every time you lean over and you get ready to stand up. Try to remind yourself, and your body will start to do this because it feels better. So I happen to bring bands out. I carry them everywhere. There's so many things you can do with these. And I wanna work on some of your hand stuff. I just kind of noticed you're always grabbing and you're always pulling. You're not working the back side of your hand. You're working this side. So we want to put a little balance in there. And also, we just want to open this up. So make the band as light as possible by not having anything stick out past your pinky, and then wrap it around your hand nice and tight. All right, so go ahead and put them out here. So find your tension, and then just start to let your wrist work on the back there. And then just use your arms. Keep your arms straight so your back is very strong. It'll get that out there. Against your body. There you go. Now we're going to go up. All the way up. Now I want you to take one hand and take it out, down, and around, and let it pull this arm back. There's your stretch. You feel that stretch?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Now just bring this down like you're playing hide the hand, just where I can't see it, and take it back up. And keep that wrist nice and strong, and straight. And we're gonna do about 10 of these. We'll just do 3 for now. 1, 2, and 1 more. And 3. And then we're gonna come up, and then we're just gonna come down nice and gentle. So this is just a balance to what you do in the garden all day long. We just did 3 of them. So I would ideally love for you to do 10 out to the side and 10 on each arm.
Well, like once a day?
Once a day.
Okay,
Yeah.
easy enough.
Yeah. So here comes the hard part. I have never done this with 2 people. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle this, but I need a promise that you're gonna do this for 4 weeks while I'm gone. And
Oh, yeah. We can promise you that. We'll keep each other in check. That's
Yeah.
what we'll do. It's like, come on, we gotta do our
then
stretches.
ladies first.
All right. You got it.
All right. All
You
right.
got it.
We got it.
All right.
We should shake hands
Oh,
on
yeah.
that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, lots to do till we come back.
You guys are great.
You are great.
I feel like we could be friends.
We are
Thank
friends.
you.
We are?
Thank you
Oh.
so much. Really.
Simon,
Thank you so much.
Hey
you're
there.
very welcome. Thank you.
And I
Great,
have a little
great job, guys.
piece and
Oh.
plenty for you to take with
Oh
you.
my goodness, how
Some
exciting.
saffron to grow
Look
in your
at that.
garden.
So
4
lovely.
weeks.
Oh, yeah.
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Don't
4 weeks
forget.
time.
Well,
Yeah, we flexible. Opened up.
Yeah. I know you guys are gonna knock it out.
You know, Jeff, if you asked all gardeners what is their biggest physical problem, they'd all say my back, just like Melinda and Simon. I thought it was great that you gave them back exercises.
Well, it was for their back issue, but there's just an assortment of reasons why lower backs hurt people, and the most common one is the tight hip flexor. You know, and that's the muscle that picks the leg up. Let me ask you, do you spend much time sitting or kneeling in the garden?
I do. Actually, I would say I kneel in my garden about 50% of the time I'm out there, and about 25% of the time I'm actually sitting on the ground.
Exactly. So that's exactly what's going on. You know, when you're kneeling, it's in a shortened position.
Right.
Right? So, you know what? Have a seat on that box, all right? Now, pretend you've been sitting for a long period of time. We've all done this, whether you're in the office or whether you're in the garden, all right? And then when you get ready to stand up, what do you feel sometimes?
You feel, oh,
Right, you keep
my
trying to stand, and the
back.
more you stand, your back hurts.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with your back. There's actually nothing to fix back there. It's a tight hip flexor. Now, I told you it attaches to the leg.
right.
The other end of it attaches to your lumbar spine in like 5 different places. So when you decide to straighten that leg down and pull on that muscle, it's pulling on your lumbar spine. And as soon as it starts to stretch a little bit, it allows you to come up and a little bit more, and it takes the pressure off your lower spine. If you just simply take your leg back, there's a stretch. You're stretching it. So that's a simple stretch.
That is.
You can take your leg back a little further. So you keep going back, and you're in a lunge. That's why they call this a lunge stretch. All right, so stay right there and feel that stretch.
You feel that.
Also recognize the fact that your body weight is holding you up with the same muscle that you're trying to stretch.
It is.
It's not a really efficient way to stretch a muscle because it's guarding
tight.
itself. So I'm gonna take the same box, and what I want you to do now is use your arm on your leg and your arm on the box as armchairs, and just drop your weight onto
Wow.
your arm in the box. Yeah.
That feels great.
It's much safer also because you're not pulling on those tendons. Now, take your arm off just for fun.
Whoa.
Yeah, it
don't
doesn't
wanna
want to
stay
hold
there.
weight down there. So you're much safer doing it this way using a little bit of an armchair method. There's more,
Of course, there's more.
okay? So when you're back here and you're doing that stretch, you don't want to just pop out of it and snatch that muscle back up to a shorter place. It'll tighten up, and you lose all the benefit of your stretch. So if you take it back, and on your way up, you just slowly drag that leg, drag that up. And now, because it came up nice and gently, it'll retain that stretch for a long time.
No, I love the way that feels.
Yeah,
Feels
now it's a
great.
very dynamic stretch.
So, about how many times a day should somebody do a stretch like this?
If there's a stretch that you have identified that's really good for you, you should at least do it once a day. And don't overdo it. You know, you can do it more, but once a day is really good.
No, that's simple, good advice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stars.
It is so dark, Jeff.
Yeah, it's 4:30, Madeline.
It is 4:30, but you know, they invited us to harvest with them, and it has to be in total darkness because I think as soon as the light comes up, the flowers start to open. So we should try to go find them.
Let's go get those flowers.
Let's get this going.
Hey, there we go. All right.
Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Hey.
Good morning.
In the dark.
We made it.
You made it. Are you frozen?
Yes.
Good to see you
Nice to
again.
see you, Miranda.
Hi.
Simon.
So good to see you.
Thanks for coming out. You're gonna pick
Nice
some
to see you
flowers.
guys. Yes.
How's
We're so
Show us
excited.
how.
Yeah,
We
all
want to
right.
learn how to
learn.
harvest.
We got some buckets for you.
Oh, good.
And it's pretty easy. The stems are right here. You just pull it at the stem, holding the stem. And you see I just got a piece of grass,
Right.
but that's okay if you do that. Yeah, they kind of snap nicely
that? Is
in the
that-
cold.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
You got it. Just do that a few thousand times now.
So we were talking on the way in. You had like you do like how many a day? What's your?
We have had our biggest day today and yesterday. Yesterday we picked, I think,
60,000.
60,000 yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
That was a big day.
So
is a
how
big-
many weeks do you actually spend harvesting these?
About 5.
Wow, that's a lot of work condensed in a small period of time.
Sun's coming up.
Oh, it looks so pretty. Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You get that every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the benefits being out here.
That was a lot of work.
That was fun, though. But it's
Hey.
exciting. Hi.
Hi.
That was
Really
some morning.
Did you have
Exciting.
fun?
We
Yeah.
did.
Can you feel your fingers?
Barely. Here's our little contribution
Thank
to
you
your
so much. That's
tens of thousands of.
not so little. That's a lot of flowers there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
He's
job.
working hard. Switching those
So
muscles.
tell me about how you've been over the last 4 weeks. What how'd it work?
It's been great. Yeah. So the band exercise that you gave us, I found that really useful. Over time, I realized that it really was working to open me up, and I've noticed a real genuine difference.
And you?
Yeah, so
Melinda?
I did it for a little while, and then I injured my shoulder and had to put it aside for a while. But I have been using the
glute fix.
That's fantastic. Like we both have really taken that one up.
Actually.
yeah. In fact, we've passed it on to the crew.
Really?
Oh no,
that's
really?
so cool.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
You paid it forward?
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
Look. I'm sorry. That's
Look at that. That's
that
the best
is
news.
that's one of the nicest things I can hear.
And it's become automatic for us now. You know, it's just become part of what we do. So it's,
You created
Yeah.
a habit.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
That's great.
We want to learn.
The next step.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get started on that?
Heck
Let's
yeah.
go do that.
Let's grab some. So, what you want to do is I like to hold them with my non-dominant hand, and I give them a little smush and twirl at the base of the flower, and it kind of splays out the stigmas, and it goes from white to yellow to orange to red. So
Okay.
you look for that spot on the stigma here where it's turning from orange to red, and just give it a little pull apart with your fingers, and you discard the flower however you want to.
What happens after this stage? What comes next?
so next, they get taken away and we dehydrate them. You want to take 80 to 90% of the moisture out of them. Yeah.
And then after drying, today's drying, then we put them in jars in a dark, cool place, and they cure for about 3 months, and then it will be ready to use. If we were to use the saffron we dried today in tonight's paella, we would be extremely disappointed because there wouldn't be any flavor.
Really?
Yeah, you really need the time for it to sit and intensify, kind of like wine.
What's that?
You look very serious.
I'm
Look at him.
I'm
It's like,
into this. I'm gonna be good at this by the time I don't have to ever do it again.
You can come back next year.
yeah, I was going to say never say never.
But in our modern world, you know, this isn't something you sit and do. Like, what else would you do like this in our modern world?
That's true. So our pile's getting really low, Jeff.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
doing
think
pretty good here.
If we're gonna party tonight, maybe if you don't mind, we'll go and take a little siesta and freshen up and come back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
you in
tonight.
a few
Yeah, we
hours.
can't wait to see
I'll
you
see.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
it'll be
fun.
fun.
Guys.
Melinda, maybe you could tell us the basics of how you cook with saffron.
Yeah, sure. I think there's a couple tips that I think are pretty important for the home chef. One is to crumble up the saffron threads a bit and then bloom those crushed threads in a cooking liquid, like how you would steep a tea.
Oh, okay.
But you can use cream or white wine, whatever cooking liquid you're putting into your recipe.
Well, I can't wait to taste it
So
in
is
the
that what he's
paella.
putting in right now?
Yes.
From art shows and things were
All right, cheers,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
To saffron harvest.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's nice at the end of the day.
Oh, that is delicious.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, this is just terrific. You know, the meal, the farm, the food, you know, but just meeting you guys has been wonderful.
To be so brave, to change your lives so dramatically is really impressive. I mean, I think it takes a tremendous amount of energy and foresight to know that you could live another dream. You know, you thought you had your main life, but you had a beginning life.
It was the appetizer, and I
It
didn't
was
know
the
it.
appetizer.
Oh, that's very good. The appetizer before life.